No Duty Ron is live right now, so maybe I can slide one in without too many crazies in the chat, right? I getting familiar now with kind of the nuances of the YouTube and um, how to just kind of maximize the experience. So what we're going to talk about is the trouble with San Jose for me. And I'm going to invite a couple of people on, see if they want to come on and talk about San Jose. Let's see. Okay. So how's everybody doing? I'm going to see. I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes till see if Doug comes around. Let's see. Let me go ahead and post the link in the chat. I can't get into any of our Discord. There we go. Okay. My wife, I love you, wife. I love you, wife. I love you, wife. All right. So let me post the link. I'm going to post the link in the chat and then I'll pin it. So we'll go to the chat. Sorry, guys, I'm just getting kind of all right. So using the kid's iPad, you know the drill. I'm trying to dig in and paste. There it goes. All right, guys. There is the chat. All right. Let me open it up over here. Hey, guys. All right, so let me pin this. This is just for anybody that wants to come on and talk. I just want to say before you come on, we're just going to have, a nice professional conversation about San Jose. That's kind of where I'm getting jammed up, guys. San Jose, it's been given to us like it's official narrative. So I'm gonna have to look into it as such. And I have a few questions that I just want to ask everybody. Anybody who wants to, kind of get in and throw your 2 cents in. So, the number one is the substance of the call, the substance of the caller on the other platform. How did everyone feel about the story itself? And let me ask another question with that. Why is there the change in narrative, right? So I'm trying to catch up to who was actually in the store. Now, I heard the lady, what she said, but then there's so much other online and I just don't, it's a question that comes into play. for me, and right now, I want to take tonight for everyone. If you have a question about a particular part of the narrative, then let's talk about that, and kind of work it out for there's going to be questions that I have. I have a lot of questions actually. And so, maybe tonight we can use that as a little bit of a sounding board real quick. And then the people that are over with Duty Ron, they might find some of it, and they might have some answers too. So, hey, Remy, I felt like that the sighting was kind of what a sighting should sound like, I guess, maybe on the phone. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with that, so I do know that I felt like I saw someone else say it, and I kind of I thought, well, that could be a narrative as well. And it was how did all this information get relayed so quickly, and in such a short amount of time? I think that's one question that you got to ask yourself. Now, again, I just posted a video prior to this one where I was having a hard time kind of understanding what that area looked like, and I having a hard time understanding what that area looked like, and so I pulled it up on the Google Earth, and I kind of zoomed in, and it's right next to the San Jose City Hall. So there's going to be a lot of different, pardon me, CCTVs. There's going to be, hopefully some good footage of that. Now, what's your guys' take on the calls to the grocery store? Because I called them and went one way. And that was kind of a little exercise that Doug and I had planned to just kind of see, try to get a baseline, a control base of what that that call looks like and what it could sound like. Not only that, but I saw that KK Alexa Reacts. I caught a portion of her call. She talked to someone, I think, completely different. So the thing that you have to understand about situations like that is that when someone is able to go online and so freely see all the opinion based stuff that just kind of runs rampant, it's for some it's going to draw people into it, and for others they're going to say, oh wow, look at the mob behind this. I want to stay away from it. You know what I mean? I think that I'd like to have a couple of people come on. Okay, there we go. Hi, I don't believe her. I need camera facts. I'm sorry. Timeline though. Right. You know what, Patty? The crazy thing about camera stuff is it always kind of seems like it feels like this would be the kind of case where they're like, oh yeah, we have camera, but it just misses that area. I just feel like the worst case scenario is at play with this thing. It's just how I feel, and it's just like everything is just missing the other. You know what I mean? I have a hard time following, and I'll say it like that, guys. I have a hard time following the lady just because of the quality of the call. There was a lot of different things going on with the audio, and so I didn't know really what to do with it and how to process it. It sure would have been nice to get it a little bit clearer than that, or something. Store lady said what I knew. Where else? Where did we hear those words? Store lady said. A lot of these things, Chris. A lot of these things are kind of quarterbacked. How do I put this? There's this whole thing going on behind this with the online community, right? everyone at some point has clashed. You know, and I mean everyone, every single one. There was a point in time where no one in the Cal City area that was doing their thing was getting along. So, you know, a lot of different platforms and different people and followers and commenters and different things. You know, they move around in the pages and they kind of go freely and they do their thing. And it's hard to decipher really because I see people's profile on a lot of different pages. And, you know, sometimes if you follow that trail of that person, you know, because I'm learning all this, right? You can kind of hold down on the button and it'll tell you where they've commented. And so, you know, you can see kind of a little piece of the activity that's, you know, that part's built in so that you can kind of, you know, you can kind of track what you're following. Do you think the boys will be found? Do you trust Giselle? You know what, Pamela? It's not a matter of whether or not I trust Giselle. You know, Giselle has constitutional liberties. Now, in the Chiefs interview, he specifically said a couple of different things that led you to believe that he's really made an ally with the West family. One of those was someone's taken the kids from the gate, or they've had help from the gate, and whoever has these kids has kept them from the parents. Now, when you hear that, kept them from their parents, what does that say, guys? Who are the parents, right? So, you know, that again, like I said before, that was kind of crafted really nicely so that it could go either way, right? It's, you know, parents. Well, you know, unfortunately, those boys have had several sets of parents. Now, there isn't, you know, you're going to have people that say, oh, he's talking about the Bio family or he's talking about the West. Like, you know, it just, in the context, you're talking about boys in the context of being the boys. So everything about the boys is relevant at this time. So it's really hard to get a context. You know, I don't know. But you know, the substance of that call, I don't know. It was hard to keep the timeline in the chronology for me. Now, Giselle, do I think the boys will be found? So there's a part of me that has to trust the official narrative. And Chief Walker, pardon me, guys. Chief Walker, he expounded on his take on the official narrative today. Or yesterday. That's the way that I took that, was him kind of honing in on what he thought was what we should all hear right now. What we haven't necessarily heard is any confirmation or you know, otherwise in regards to how the online community is helping. What we are hearing is that there's, you know, lots and lots. There's a flood of calls. You know, they're finding ways to address, you know, reward parameters. Now, I saw in one of my comments, Spivey said that that's a natural thing where they go through this process with the rewards and different things, and I get that. But I also heard him say, you know, things in the nature of you know, to direct traffic about that. You know, there shouldn't be really a whole lot of traffic about that, in my opinion. And I never throw my opinion out there, but you know what? Hey guys, would you be happy if they gave you a year's worth of Jack in a Box for free? Like, or 100, like, you know, that part is inconsequential. Right. I mean, it's all relative too. I mean, to you know, there's going to be some people that think, oh, well, this person worked harder than this person. And that's where the reward becomes the problem. It becomes this fulcrum in the community, right? When you put a reward up. Now, I'm starting to retract anything I said before. I feel like I want to retract anything I said before about jack the reward on up. Well, at that time, jacking the reward up fit in the puzzle. Like, for me anyways, like, if you jack the reward up, you know, somebody's going to come out with information and, you know, you'll be that much closer. Well, you know, it didn't happen. You know, the last measurable anything we know it's 122. The last 2,000 was put up by at Duty Ron, and that's awesome. Thumbs up, brother. Um, I think that there's a lot of platforms out here that could help in that way too. I mean, there's a lot of money being generated off of this thing. So let me take to a couple of questions. I'm glad you're on the case. Are you at liberty to share your background? I believe you will crack the case. My background is in the criminal justice background. Yeah, I have a criminal justice background. I mean, that I navigated hard 20s. Some of my 30s were difficult. And so, a testament to, I have four children varying in age from 20 to two, almost three next month. I have a beautiful wife and, all of that. I also do the online predator catches. If you have time after this and you'd like to check me out in action doing that, just check out my playlist and you'll see predator catches. I have three in there, but those three are pretty action packed, and I've got a lot more that are coming up. I just want to focus, on this for right now. So, Pamela, that's true. He has. Anyone has had enough time, but I'm going to focus my efforts or a portion of my efforts. I have to look at the official narrative from the police. So it's safe. He said in that interview, "Let your imagination runs wild." Guys, please don't let your imaginations run wild. Like that could be a really dangerous thing. Hey, Remy, I'm sorry. I'm just learning these questions, and then I'll bring you up. Now, I believe the boy vanished before December. The timeline is definitely important. Now, Pamela, the timeline for the timeline, we know by the narrative of this alleged sighting that puts the West in control of the boys on the 21st of December. So you would have to imagine that at some point, if their interest changed in that property in mid-September, then you would think they had all of October, November, and then half of December. So the boys made it to Cal City with reasonable, it's reasonable to say that, I think. Also, that fits the narrative of what Chief Walker has said about them leaving the gate. Now, I don't want to talk about necessarily. I don't want to say what I felt when he said that statement about somebody's got the boys and they're not returning them to the family. Like, I got this feeling, and those who are with me, I know that you got the feeling too, and I'm not going to say it because that's not what I want to be about on my channel. You know what I mean? So, hey, Doug. All right. So we'll come back to this one. I'm gonna let Remy on for a minute. Remy, come on. You know the rules, nice and classy, all of that.
Oh, yeah, got this. Always.
Yo,
Yo,
Remy.
what's going on, everybody? What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I got my AirPods in too, so you can hear me?
So do you have an opinion on this San Jose deal? I mean, how does that change things for you?
From Cal City to San Jose, you asking?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going with the narrative of this sighting, that's kind of the last, different detail that we've heard this week. So, with that break in mind, how do you feel about, this San Jose to Cal City on the 21st, the sighting?
it just something just doesn't fit. Something just doesn't add up. Like if that's the case of the lady from the outlet saying that she did see the boys at like what 7 a.m. on December 21st, that doesn't
Right.
even make sense to the point where the boys that's the same day the boys went missing. So how does that add up?
Well, so we spoke behind the ballpark. You how it makes it tight. That's certainly what it does. Now, with how tight it is, you have to start asking yourself, now, when did they leave? Let me turn this up a little bit. When did they leave San Jose to make it back to Bakersfield for the boys to go missing, right?
Exactly.
So, I guess first you have to establish, when was, try to, fairly reasonably, determine when did they leave the grocery outlet. Now, that surveillance video from that area is going to be crucial because it's going to actually show, their direction of departure, which is also crucial because we don't know that they left straight from the grocery outlet and headed back to Cal City. So, actually this sighting, it kind of makes things way stringent, way tight. Don't you agree?
I agree. And also with them seeing in the surveillance camera on December 19th of them leaving with 4 kids. In total, they had 6 kids. Orrin and Orson didn't go in the van. So where were they at that point in time? You understand what I'm saying? So my opinion to this is I just feel like honestly they've never made it to Cal City. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion and I
Absolutely.
respect it, but it's
Absolutely.
just my heart tells me they never made it out Bakersfield at all.
And you know what, bless you, Remy, because guess what? It takes the people that can professionally, have a different opinion of the narrative and have their own feeling and kind of work and be motivated off of that and stay professional about it, right? Like I fell into all of that internet beef and that's a tough thing. It's easy to get into, hard to get out of. You there?
Yeah, I am. I was just thinking, because
Oh,
now it just makes me think, did they really go from Bakersfield to San Jose? It's
well, I
so
mean,
hard.
so
It's
so
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 hard.
they wrapped up closing on the house. It was 100-day close or whatever. So they wrapped up on the ninth or the 10th, right, guys? I think it was the ninth or the 10th. So when their interest changed, of course they're living in Bakersfield in the apartment. As soon as the door is open to come to Cal City on Aspen, they had to have ran, right? Like, it was time to get in the house. So I think with reasonable, in my opinion, of course, I feel like it's reasonable that the boys made it to the house. Now, we also heard from the chief in the new interview talk about how the dogs aren't 100%, and we all know that. That's not a secret. Any of us that have lived on that other side, we know the dog is not 100%. Dog is subject to a bad day too. So, the fact that the dog didn't smell the boys in the backyard, to me, it's not conclusive. It wasn't conclusive before, and the chief made a point to say, it's basically it's inconclusive, right? We can say that with certainty that the dog did not smell anything, but we can't say for certainty did the dog have a bad day or is it a positive negative or a negative positive? Like what is it actually, right?
Right.
So you start to get off into those real deep, murky waters when you start talking about that situation. Now, I had somebody tell me today, and I don't let me tell anybody who isn't familiar with running a page. My page is real small, but let me tell you what. Today, somebody told me that they think that they fed the boys to the dogs because when the police went there, it was a house full of dogs, but no kids. That's what somebody
What?
told me. Now, I mean, I was just like I had to, now I don't know if it was a troll or what it was, but it seemed like they the way they put it in there, they seemed like they were serious about what they meant, right? So, with that being said, I know that the police have to be getting all kinds of crazy reports and different things. Who knows, what it's at for them, right? GS, he said it's not a good lead at all. She even said Hansen told her he has footage that conflicts with her claims. So there you have it. Right now, I said that early on 2 videos ago that there might be a reason why, if someone tried to come with a claim that they saw the boys, why it might take 2 times for the police to appease them. And the reason for that could very well be, or had been, that he already knew where they were at, or already had, data or intel of them being somewhere completely opposite of the grocery outlet. So, but still, that other platform, you guys know where the call came from. That other platform, they have put out some good stuff, but they've also, put out some stuff that I feel kind of played with the narrative. So, and that's all I'm going to say. Not destroyed it. It just kind of played with the narrative. And then it made it kind of hard for even the serious gumshoe like myself to follow with this stuff. Does grocery outlets sell diapers? Brittany, I've been told no. I've been told yes. That was Doug knows that. Doug knows that.
But with the boys making it to Cal City, wouldn't you think that their clothing or something could pick up a scent? Their scent, there being there with they not physically being there. Could that be a possible thing?
Absolutely. I mean, the dogs end up smelling drugs in a car that aren't there. They just smell them from being there previously, So I think that it's reasonably safe to assume that the dog has that capability. That cadaver dog has that capability as well. I mean, I'm not a scientist and I don't know that for sure, but in the realm of reason, doesn't it? It seems reasonable, right?
Could it be possible that they have given Cal City the wrong clothing of the wrong boys since they had 6 boys, or
Well,
is that could
let me ask you this, Remy. Now, you referred to earlier about the video of them all going to Bakersfield to shop or wherever that was.
hmm
We don't even know definitively that was that day. No way we can know that. There's just
right?
no way I don't have a copy of that footage to play with and sift through, and that was what was kind of unique about the Kanika Jenkins case, where like there was a database where anyone could go and download all of this footage. So in this
Because
case,
there was
go ahead.
36 hours missing of the Kanika Jenkins. They edit out 36 hours of whatever happens. That could,
Right.
it's just weird how they came across to having the video of all of a sudden Orrin and Orson getting out the gate. Sorry, not sorry. It does not fit or sit well with me at that point, because if that was the case, they would have been released that video the first day, wouldn't they? Why they wait so long to release the video? Supposedly the boys leaving
Well,
the gate.
let me tell you this. I think that there is obviously a deliberate delay in the relay of the information. Now, I don't think that we have to worry about necessarily there being. I think that the online community, myself included, has made this thing so messy that there isn't probably a police leak, because if there were a police leak, that had already popped up. Like we'd have recording of the Hanson guy or somebody talking, greasy to somebody else behind the scenes when he shouldn't be, and there's so much clout chase going on that would already have popped up. So, I just question, I question the whole narrative. But again, I get lost at San Jose because, until that, until the reference to this alleged sighting from this other large platform is debunked, or it's selected in as viable, it completely distorts the timeline and just twists it all up, and it makes it hard to kind of follow it now chronologically. You're like, okay, so you're going back in time, and then because of that delay, right? Like even I made the mistake, right? Like I because
hmm
the alleged witness just came out a few days ago. I called the grocery outlet like, hey, can I talk to somebody about the sighting that happened a couple of days ago? And then I had to catch myself, but I was like, I mean, in December, right? Like this didn't just happen. So there's that huge gap where we started at go at Aspen and we move forward, right? Or whichever way it's forward to you guys, move forward. Now we get to San Jose thing, and the fact that you have an alleged eyewitness, and then you start to see all this other content pop up, or these comments on these other platforms. In the comments, it looks to be viable information. So, with that being said, I just want to break it down and see how it fits to 543 departure of the kids leaving the gate. I mean, that's what
Exactly.
that's what we got. Now could that be a ruse from Chief Walker in order to distract and bamboozle the online community? It certainly could be. I think at this point there has to be intra-investigational tactics to kind of dissuade the public, at this point, because if you got people calling you with all this crazy stuff, like, it's become unnavigatable, let's see. The boys' scent would be on belongings and would transfer onto carpets, sofas, etc. You would think, right? I mean, I don't know. You would think if the Cal City PD was looking for a cop killer, they would already be in custody. I mean, those situations are different, though. I mean, a cop killer isn't really sneaking around. He's kind of out in the open, or a lot of those situations are captured on cam. Like, this is a situation that has a lot, a larger range of dynamic. I think the case she was clearly upset. I mean, that's open to interpretation too, GS. I think the APs are the ones responsible. I mean, Remy, she believes the same thing. I think that I would not be surprised if down the road I found out that, they were surprised. It wouldn't be surprising, but there again, because I try to remain neutral in the middle, I wouldn't be surprised if I found out they had nothing to do with it, guys. Like, would you, Remy?
It's just the whole thing of the way they was acting in an interview. I get it's cold, but Trozel's hands didn't fit with me. Like, his hands were burnt. I don't know. I just don't understand why his hands were burnt, and that was fresh. And it's just, unless the man loves to play with fire or something, I don't know. His hands, he was hiding them the whole time. And then not only that, when Jacqueline was only using one hand, she was using her right hand and hiding her left hand. And what's the reason behind that? You understand? It's weird. I don't know. I just feel like at this point, like, we can't really point fingers, but they were the last ones to see Orrin and Orson. So at this point, they should be the ones to be held accountable.
Right.
It's only right. I mean,
Yeah.
there might be other people in interest who are involved with this whole thing going on. We don't know. Nobody
No, we
knows.
don't know.
We don't know if it's her side or his side. It could be both sides. You just
it
don't
could be
know.
no sides. It really could
Exactly.
be no sides. There's a substantial, sufficient amount of circumstantial evidence to support a lot of different theories, claims, and then you have this overwhelming presence of this online community that now is not really just online anymore. It's on the news. It's out there. So it's a powerful force, and I just don't know. I'm scared of the way that it could go. Nat, man, I want to respond to you. Did they refuse a lie detector test? Well, the chief said that he couldn't comment. Now, I would hope that that's the kind of scenario. Did they take one or not? I hope that that's something that they would keep to themselves, whether they did or they didn't, because that fuels and charges the online community. So when you have, I don't know how many people are following this case. So if you have X amount of followers and then you've got X amount that are in the locale, you start getting all kinds of different threats and people knocking on doors and showing up your mom's house, all that strange stuff. But Nat, to answer your question, he said he wouldn't comment. As an empath, I can tell you she was not lying. I get it. The grocery outlet was on Monterey Road. They didn't sell diapers. Well, Terry, Monterey Road, they didn't sell diapers. If they're okay, 2 miles away, then I'll check that one out. I think that locale is, probably going to look much the same. Thank you, Terry, for saying that. I don't sense. I meant everyone needs to be checked, so it takes time. Nat, man, that's exactly it. Was the video of this lady taken down? Kim B. Kim, I'm going to pin your video. Respond to that, or maybe you already have. I'm way behind. No comment, don't look good. Without a body, witness testimony, confession, they won't make an arrest. Now, no Angel. In most cases, that's right. But they can pull a warrant for a body. They can get a bodiless warrant. That's kind of a technical deal, right? So that's what they're trying to avoid, and I think that they're using the template of the Daybell case, to look at and watch. You run into that double jeopardy situation where you don't want to jeopardize, you don't want to do it too late, and then once it runs down the pike, you end up finding evidence later on that you can't really do anything with because you've double jeopardied. So, Nat, man, you got to know they got all that, a whole lot. I wanted him to be asked why neighbors was not talked to. Extreme, you got to know all of them have. Old buddy that had the footage originally, that he gave it to AV. The feds already came and got that. What he had was either a different I was told by one platform it was a different DVR, and then I was told by another platform that it was an SD card that went right into the TV. So with that being said, it's going to be that multi-angular thing. It's that multi-angular thing on every detail of this case. I think that the advantage that the police have is that they don't have all these angles in real life. Like we as an online community, we create these angles to keep it suspenseful and really on the police end, it's probably not that suspenseful, guys. I mean, this is a standard thing in the way that it's a missing kids case. Let's see. You need to step up or not. Yes, it was. I could not find it. Terry, yes, it was taken down. So I don't know why. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Thankfully, we have it screen recorded in our community over and over and over and over. We don't have to worry. We can still analyze it. But for a channel to take it down, knowing that it's been screen like, bro or ma'am, whoever you are that put that call video out, I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman. To bring it down is uncivilized, right? So here we go.
CPS got a lot to do with this too.
They certainly do. Now I can't speak on their involvement in what's going on presently, but they certainly do have a lot to do with this case, even if it's just organically with moving the kids from Ryan Dean to the West. And actually there was an intern foster care that Ryan Dean got along with good. I don't remember her name. I've got it somewhere, but it's been a lot of different spots these boys been at. It has to hold up. Chief hasn't talked to AP for a few weeks. Okay, very, very eviction made. Right, GS. I mean, case in point, Jimmy Hoffa. Right? Yeah, we yeah, for sure. They got new phones, apparently. Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
see, and I want to talk about that real quick, because I thought that was interesting in the beginning, but you have to know when the police took their phones, there
They,
probably was no there was no deadline on when they would get them back, right? I mean,
um,
that's fairly reasonable. So they probably went out organically and got new phones. They have to be in touch. They have to have a number for at least the police and the detectives to call them, right? So that's fair to say that they didn't know when they were going to get their phones back and they went and purchased new ones. I'm just going to go with that because that's what I would do, right? So how did they get the kids to begin with? Nat, man, that's up for that's up for debate. Hi, Benny, how are you? Where are the boys? Hi, Ann, how are you? Possibly. Doug deleted his video from last night. What was that uncivilized? Uh, you know what? Offensive behavior. We're all just human. What can you do, right?
exactly.
Yeah, like for you to come over here and tell me about something else, like, man, you're trying to distract the live, and I can't even let you do it, buddy.
Did,
I'd love to keep you around. I'm gonna put you in timeout for a minute, buddy.
oh,
There you
if I
go.
was there, I would have put him on timeout real quick.
Uh, hold on, Remy. Salute. Keep solid 6. Canada. Jeanette. Maybe they bought new phones before they got back to that house. Right. I mean, who knows? Thank you, solid. Thank you, guys.
Hmm.
So let's move on to my next question. I'm kind of caught up. If I missed anybody's video from 2 years ago. My qualifications, Desert Sentinel. Um, I do online predator catches, and I did it. I've done it for a long time. I'm very successful at it, and what that takes is a lot of web work. Trying to find out who people really are. Cross referencing photos that they sent, setting up snares. Like, if I act like a little girl, then I tell all the perps, meet me at the store, and I want cappuccino. I like Starbucks cappuccino. So if I walk into the store and the guy's got a picture than his real life face, well, it's going to be the guy holding cappuccino, right? 9 times out of 10, right? So that it doesn't necessarily qualify me or disqualify me, but I have just a love for children because I have 4, and so I have 2 daughters. I have a daughter that's 16 and a daughter that's 15, almost 17 and 15. So I have a very vested interest in making sure these girls are safe out here, first of all, and kids overall. So that is a fair question. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ferris. Uh, let's see. So, good intentions qualify. Absolutely. Absolutely. Desert Sentinel. If you would just take a second to go on over to my playlist and check out the predator catches. I've done lots. I've had 3 up right now, and I'm working on this right now. I don't want to take away from any of that with that. So I've got a couple of more questions, guys. So allegedly, I've been told that the West's interest in San Jose on the 21st was for court or to sign some documents. Somebody said court. So that would be that would be kind of a public record that wouldn't be real hard to probably track down, even if it's just through the court schedule online. I'm sure that information could be obtained pretty easy. Okay, so thank you, Solid. Thank you, Sentinel. Thank you. Thank you so much. How do you guys feel? No, we covered that one. Allegedly, does anybody in the chat know what they were allegedly in San Jose for? because I'm still trying to connect that. Because what I need to try to figure out is one thing that would kind of verify that sighting, even though the video has been taken down, is if there was some sort of court issue going on where there would have been a failure to appear, or there would have been some sort of default or a penalty for not making it to court that day. That would stand to reason that they had a real vested interest to be in San Jose, which would thus kind of give you more fuel towards verifying the sighting. I didn't know that video was down, guys. I'm gonna go kind of peek around and see why that is. Courts were closed. No. Do we know? Somebody, please, right now. I'll love you forever. Can you look up what day the 21st was? What day was it, guys? Does anybody know? And yes, adoption court. I have a court. I don't know, Anisha. That would be a good question. If you want to call and find out Monday. Well, so I think that the courts would be open now, guys. This is, this is another angle. If they stayed in the parking lot at the grocery outlet, the city hall is right there. I mean, they just walk out of the van over to the city hall. So, that could, because now, guys, somebody told me that can somebody verify that video has been taken down with the caller? Because if that's so, that kind of further dilutes and convolutes this thing where I'm trying to find traction. Like, what was the whole deal with raising awareness and bringing all of the the searchers' efforts looking at San Jose, like, right? They were there to get paperwork for the foster kids. Queen Thomas. Okay. Onisha, I have no idea, sweetheart. You could call up there and find out. Or you could email, you could go through the county website right there, the city website, and there's information. But if they sleep in the van, I don't know, GS. Let's say that they, you could speculate maybe that they didn't have a lot of extra money just going through the purchase of this house. Christmas is right there too. So, I don't know, but they were seen at the grocery store or grocery outlet, and then they were also allegedly going into that court. So they said they had to sign papers for the 2 foster board juvenile records. No, Terry, the matter of why they're at court is not it's not relevant to me. It's all it would just be on a court calendar, right? It'd be the interest of Trezell and Jacqueline West, whatever, right? I don't want any paperwork about their actual visit to the court. It was a Monday. The video is down. Kim B. That is strange. You know what? If there's anybody that also subscribes, I implore everyone to just kind of look at all the narratives, all the channels that have a narrative, and find your lane, right? This is just my lane, guys. And I appreciate all of you for supporting my lane and challenging my lane and questioning my lane. Like, I'm not upset about any of that, guys. I will check that out. Let me know. Thank you, New. Has to be down. It has to be. Well, right. It should have been looked into before it went up. I don't know. It seems as if maybe, if potentially you look at an angle where, if the lady felt like she was, insulted by Hanson and the Cal City police, maybe she go public and talk about that and try to, belittle him or make him look some way. I don't know, guys. You got to know it's tough on those guys right now. They got all of us breathing down their necks every day, 24 hours a day, calling there, ringing there, going up there. Like, come on, guys. And right, right. The problem is that we don't have like an official narrative of an actual video to reference with what we know. Like we're looking at video and we're trying to scratch and stretch it and make it fit to what we think we know, but we don't even know about the video, guys. Like we don't know, right? So nothing is closed around me in Cali. Thank you, Patty. Okay, gotcha. Yes, but I'm in San Jose. I understand. Hanson just did an interview. I saw it tonight and addressed it without saying any names, but addressed follow up. Solid. If you could, when we're done, if you could just go find that video and link it in the comments, and I'll pin it because I want to look at it. I wasn't aware. I've been looking at all this San Jose stuff, and if the San Jose thing was a redirection, like it worked, right? Because I have to make sure that I feel comfortable in my own investigation, moving away from the interest in San Jose. Like I have to, right? The courts are not closing, right? Megan, I said that in my last video. I said that this was, in my opinion, the most put together piece of media that I've seen Chief Walker involved in. It was very calculated. I even questioned myself because so many of these things are circumvented in a way that has to be controlled, right? Like you're seeing that. So I saw a lot of genericness. I saw a lot of generality in the questioning and in the answer. So, you got to question everything. So one thing you could question is, were those questions designed with a designed answer? We have no way of knowing that, but you have to bear that in mind. Good question, Megan. Yes, I saw that. Should go to the bio mom to bury her. Onisha, there's a lot of YouTubers out here, counting a lot of pockets, pocket watchers. Shoot. Exactly. Clout chasing people. Solid. Absolutely. Because what happened was without doing a fact check, he just took that man's word for it, right? That man put that battery in his back with that footage, and that has a battery in all of our backs, guys. We don't even know that the footage is what we think it is. Some of this footage quite naturally has police on it, so you can reasonably say that that's from that day. But all these other days, we don't have a way to verify any of that, guys. Now, has it been made? I know I heard in the video that he could come back and get it. Does that man have it? What's the deal with that? Yeah. I found it in Queen. Gotcha. Thanks, Ann. All right, guys, I'm going to move on to the next question because I feel like I have a fairly certain grasp on why they were allegedly at the court. So it makes sense. It's starting to make some sense, but that could be well designed, guys. At this point, I'm not falling for nothing. I'm not buying nothing, right? Now, guys, do we have a full understanding on how alleged sightings affect the narrative, affect this community of people that are doing, honest, hard work? How do you guys understand how, changing from forward in time to back in time and trying to, analyze all the data in between those locales, like San Jose to me is just far enough away from Cal City. It might as well be China in terms of, thinking about the timeline being so compressed to when did they leave, when did they get back, what happened in between. You also have this emergent fear for the boys because, they're the hands in the face, right? So you start to think, could it be a medical emergency? Could it be, he's eating something that he shouldn't have? Has somebody hit on him? Like, you start to open up this huge can of worms that involves that sighting, right? That sighting, it's either very, very, very extremely helpful in either disproving Trezell and Jacqueline's timeline, or it's very detrimental in placing where they're at in the world, also to to people's safety now. Because do I doubt for a second that lady has been threatened? Not really. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. Do I think that she's also been pressured a whole hell of a lot? I do. But she opened herself up for that. You do that when you go online. See, I'm on here and I know what comes with it, guys. And there's just no question, right? I know what comes with this, right? Baby, me too, and for sure, like without a doubt, I want to go to Cali too. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm seeing something at the bottom that there was blood in the van seat. I had not heard anything about that. So, guys, if let me see. I'm trying to find where that's at. Okay, the caller was afraid to. Drop the link. I guess Remy got disconnected or something. Hold on, guys. Let me bring Remy back on right quick. I'm going to wrap this up here shortly. I've got just a couple of more questions, and then he kind of has on these little missions, and I love all you guys. Let's respond back in the comments to these things that we're questioning here. Hold on, Remy. I was new to all this. Let me get this link in here, guys. I'm so tired, but there's just a couple of things that I just had to address because I need some feedback. I missed a day of work, and so I know that there's some stuff that I don't know about, guys. Let's see. All right, where are we at here? Let's see here. Where we placed that? Okay. Hey, got change. Why can't you put some booths up? I don't know. Pediatric oncology treatment. I'm waiting for Woo's daughter, Remy, to come on, and then we're gonna wrap this up. What's up with that white box truck that was seen in the video? I'm selfish. I did a lot of research on that white box truck, and I'm not at liberty to say in regard to too much more about the box truck, but 3 box trucks. And there's interesting stories with, I think interesting stories with 2 of them. And one of them belonged to Grandpa Dean. So it's interesting. Yeah, Nat man. Yeah, there's 3. One is related to someone with a sex offense that does live right in that area. It's child sex offense. Yeah, and Angel, you could just put us on in the earbud. You don't have to watch. Just listen. Yeah. So I guess we've covered those. We understand. I think I've been very clear about the ripple that. Oh, there goes my damn neighbor's dogs. We're up to date and caught up with how this ripples it and changes the narrative. So I have one more question, guys. Oh, there's Remy. Let's bring him up. Sorry, Remy. There you go. Okay. You there, Remy? Remy, you there? Thank you, Angel. I appreciate it. Hey, Remy, can you hear me? Come back in and come back out if you need to. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's the same kind of vans we had. Right. Yes, selfish. I did extensively, and it hasn't ruled him out. One of the box trucks, I won't even go into that part. You just can't rule out that box truck with the sex offender, and he's right in that. So yeah, yeah. Now there she is again. I'm not sure what's going. It says her. You there?
Yeah,
You
it's
there?
because I hit leave. Yeah, I hit left, so by accident. My bad.
Nat man. Yeah. I've been told that too. Uh, yeah, I've been told that too. They're right. A billboard does not help. Need more really. Got changed. Now, I think the billboards are great, especially if, especially if it's not taking money from the investigations that could be put towards, something different, something better. Is there something better than billboards? I don't know. But what I can say is that when you do a billboard, it's for people that live in that area. I've been told that the billboard is a rotating billboard, which means that it's not steady with the boy's picture all the time. That doesn't even matter to me. The fact that it's on there, but that's limited to just the people that are on the highway in California. It doesn't have such a wide net like the internet does, but it is a useful tool for local people that you want to keep with an eye out. Let's see. Well, that man, that's what we're trying to do. Because my last question is this, and this is where Remy's input, that's where our chemistry on this idea, or our we've agreed to disagree, I guess. She has convictions one way and I have convictions another way. And so it makes for an interesting dialogue because my last question is this. The chief he believes that they left the gate, right? He believes they left the gate. So how do you take into account everything you know and you've seen? You don't see the boys leaving the gate. How comfortable are you saying that the boys left the gate, but you haven't seen them leave the gate? Right now, the wonderful woman over at Left Undone, she did a video where she zoomed way in and she was able to show an entity kind of going towards the gate. It kind of split for a second, then goes back together and then through the gate in its height. It's interesting. It's but Remy, what's your take on the Chiefs' take? Like he said that they left the gate. Are you comfortable? How comfortable are you with trying to believe that when there's no footage? You there? Remy, you there? I guess she's cut off. I think the adopted parents are the reason they're not with them. So when all said and done, church. It's. I think that it says that Remy's signal is really low. She must be in a bad area or something. And I've been on here running my mouth for how long? Crazy amount of time. I'm sorry, guys. I never left. Guys, tell me in the chat. Do you want me to continue on, or have you had enough? You need to go in and kind of dig into some of this stuff. You know, I think that's, you know, the last question I had was the chief thinks they left the gate, guys. Like, you know, I have to think um, that he's on to something, right? Like he has to know more than we know, right? Like he has to. So, you know, I don't know. Hey, Jen. Jen. Chief also said he had hours and hours of footage that she knows more. Add to life. I'm going to go ahead and pin that because everyone coming in needs to be able to read that. Absolutely. They know way more. Jen, I know it's a lot of people saying that. I guess maybe go. Did you when you hit the subscribe and hit the bell? Did you hit all? Because Autumn, she doesn't get them either. Keep going. Okay, continue on. All right. So I think they're building a case, and I absolutely think that they're building a case. Now, the city, they have a responsibility to the citizens of that jurisdiction to clean up whatever's going on. And so the city, they're usually there's more of a rush on county stuff. Feds now they will wait quite a long time. Now, if I'm not speculating that Trezell and Jacqueline are involved in trafficking, but if they are, and there's a track that connection from the west on into that market, well, they're certainly not going to just bust down the west in front of all of us. They want to take down the guy way over here, and they'll use Trezell to get it. I mean, you have to be careful about what you think about this case. That's what I've been told. You gotta, and this was by a community. I can't even say their name, guys. I know it sounds like some James Bond shit, but let's see here. They are building a case. The chief also said that there hadn't been any arrests yet. And the way that he enunciated yet, my interpretation and the way he used it in that context really had me feeling like, there's something imminent. So now, Netman, if you look at the house from the front, you have the vacant lot, and then you have as you're looking at the left. And forgive me, guys, if my left and right isn't the way it is on on Aspen, but so you have the house on Aspen, the west house at the end. To the right of that house, there's a vacant lot. To the left of that house, there's a vacant lot, and then the neighbor with the footage. So, what do we know about that strip, that lot? The house is on the other side. There's the White House that is the junk house that it's been the white junk house. It's been turned. We don't know every. Like you can't say no. Somebody didn't take him from the White House. You can't say that, right? Because we don't know. We can't know that. A lot to the right, no camera. Well, so that's a lot, Nat. And then on the other side of that, there are some houses. Those houses have been approached, and to the best of my knowledge, now I'm not talking about the neighbors that Doug talked to. I mean behind them that can see across that lot. Far as I know, they haven't been cooperative with the online community, and really, I don't know whether to thank them or cuss them. You could have straightened it all out, or maybe you did the right thing. We'll see how that plays in the end, guys. Yeah, Ellie. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. I think Remy might be having some issues with the service or the Wi-Fi. If they took dogs in, what are the odds all the dogs had a bad day? Extreme. How do we know they took multiple dogs in? I don't know. I hadn't heard that they took multiple dogs in, so I couldn't say definitively that they took multiple dogs. There's a nook at the fence where the telephone pole is. Yeah, so I guess that would be right where AV saw the bedroom window with the camera. Am I correct? Is that right?
Let's see. Benny White Man Truck was the first main video of Jay. But it's good to keep your eyes open.
Winsome Hunter. There's one box truck that pops up with a white man and a black man in the cabin. Now there was a box truck that was owned by a man that lived right there by Trezel's. He is the one, I believe, that has since moved to Texas. Now there's yet a third box truck. I want to say it's on Fernwood, which I think right there. He has a box truck as well, and I think his charge was lascivious lewdness with a child. So yeah, it does. GS. Yeah, and right directly behind it's the old lady that AV talked to. You know, right next door to that, right to the left of her house is that, which would be to the right of the West house, is that White House. Now, if you believe the narrative that the neighbors around the corner on Aspen that live by one of the AV News Crew associates, if you believe their narrative, there were, squatters and different people going in and out of that White House. So, and the elderly lady said that the older gal, I'm sorry if she sees this, the older gal stated, in with a lot of opinionated key in her voice, tone in her voice, that it's just steps away from that back gate. So, we don't know. Jennifer, right? I had heard that. I also heard from another platform that has had reputable material that it was two black men. So, the video has been pulled down with the caller in, I've been told, just in the span of this video. So I really couldn't say definitively one way or another now. Like, it's really piqued my interest. You can start to speculate, why was the video taken down? Is it some sort of intra-online community issue, or is it, by way of by virtue of law enforcement, asking him to take it down? Was he threatened to take it down? Who knows? But it is interesting, because once it's up there, you might as well just leave it up there. It's been seen, you only cause more speculation when you bring it down, in my opinion. Yes, Jen, right? So you guys look at Jen's comment. Proof of concept, the online community that we have behind the scenes. We know all of these. We know all about these box trucks. There's 3 box trucks, guys. We know the names of every single one that owns a box truck. Grandpa Dean owns a box truck. We have his DMV record. Even he has subsequent tickets and violations for driving overweight. Like when you go over the scales, overloaded. He has several charges for being overloaded, and registration issues, faulty equipment issues, things that are just par for the course when you're running trucking business or whatever. So I can't say. I was told by one of the large platforms that this guy with the box truck lived directly across the street. I don't know logistically where that box truck came from, but we were able to verify that box truck went to Texas. That leaves 2 box trucks: Grandpa Dean and the sex offender. That's right, Nat. Right, and exactly. It is shady, guys. And you know what? That's not to say that every kidnapping isn't shady, but just this one is getting a certain kind of special light. And it's just, what do things do underneath the light? They squirm, right? Like, there's so much pressure on this case from every single angle that every single person involved is got this energy, right? We've all battled with someone in the comments. We've all battled with another channel online. Like, I see another platform just thanked me for promoting their their GoFundMe. Like, if you want to follow that kind of thing, I applaud you and implore you, so another thing that I want to do, I want to comment on again. Somebody had made a really nasty threat in a comment preceding that was talking about stealing people's content. Now, just to reassure everyone that this is YouTube and it's all public, right? Like if there's not a chain or a lock on it, like we can see it freely. In fact, that's the whole point of this, right? Is to see it. So if it's put out there, it is subject to fair use. All I'm doing is being scruple with it. I'm breaking down and I'm trying to see its worth. So guys, I think that I want to just I want to quit on this note right here before I go too much further box truck situation and really start confusing people because that's just hasn't been ruled in or out by the online community. That's not to say that it hasn't been ruled in or out by law enforcement community. So Dirk Jiggler, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of the community that, called the unit. Jen Pearson, there's a lot of the guys in here and gals in here that are in accordance with the unit, and we have an online community that is extensive. And also, you just be amazed what paying for an Intellis membership or one of these other sites that's verified background site, for little or next to nothing. It's just taking that effort, right? People have a hard time believing certain things when they're online until you got to show proof. And Jerk, no offense, or Dirk, whatever, what was it? We just, as channel owners, when we try to stick to the truth, we just don't have time to be weighed down with all that. And, the first rule about this community is not to talk about this community. I have to respect that. But we have people in the chat here that are actually in Cal City, and it's they've backed that up. If you look at the pinned comment, he's moved on with that truck. That's right, Change. That's right. Yeah, Hunter, Winsome Hunter. I mean, that kind of, to me, fit the bill, of some federal stuff. And, you can't even rule out that there was a federal involvement of some sort in Cal City before all this. So, that looked kind of fetty to me. That looked fetish. That looked like Fetty Wap. So. Onisha, it's open game to whomever, it's speculation. What I'm trying to do is narrow down San Jose, guys. So I'm going to wrap up real quick. I've taken quite a few questions, and I want to get everyone back on topic that's in the chat now. What we're trying to establish is to narrow down what we know about grocery outlet in San Jose, guys. Find out what we know. We do know they were supposed to be there allegedly to work on some paperwork for adoption of some boys. We haven't even narrowed that down yet. So it stands to reason that it may have been for some of the other boys because Orrin and Orson West already had the name. So that might have already been a done deal. I'm almost certain it was a done deal, right? San Jose is quite a jaunt from Kern County, which I don't even know who has, what court they went through to speak on, I don't know what family court they went through. I'm starting to ramble and get tired, guys. It's a long stretch to search, but Nat, it's 5 hours, 6 hours, depending on how you go and what gets in your way. So yeah, it's vast, right? So now you understand the way I'm following this so closely and the way that I'm thinking about it. It's like, hey guys, we had this sighting. It came from what a lot of people believe is a viable channel. One of the main channel, if you ask somebody, a lot of people, and now the video is taken down. So that throws yet another wrench into the whole San Jose thing for me. And I'm going to have to get into my online communities and try to, you know, find out allegedly why the video was taken down and see how that plays into the whole plot and twist and scenario in San Jose. Now, again, it stands to reason that if they had court business there, that they had to be there. So it could be that other platform's video could have been taken down for any number of reasons. You know, some very organic, some not probably so organic. So, man, exactly, guys. Yeah, I've been told that too, Gail, for sure. So, yeah, guys, let's pick apart the things we've talked about in this live, and let's all try to take on a task. If you're with the unit, let's take on a task. Guys, I'm sorry I've been so overloaded. You know, I get hundreds of emails a day and, you know, lots of comments and interactions and things that are very important. Every single one of you guys are important. I've come to find out that I can't look over not one comment because there's gems in all of them. A lot of the people that are involved in this case, peripherally and, you know, physically, they don't have a platform, and they are, you know, I've talked to several people related to both sides, all sides. So it's hard to know at this point. All I'm trying to do, guys, is narrow down San Jose. Is it real? Is it not? You know, can we rule in the sighting, rule out the sighting? Can we rule in the court appearance, rule out the court appearance? You know, where can we substantiate something about San Jose to move forward and tighten up that gap?